Cheryl Holland, president of Sunset Square. There's 2 ICOs. We really urge that at least the very first one and move forward because there's any opposition to it. So I'd like to just get our pending historic neighborhoods protected. Thank you.
Thank you. Alice Cassidy, Ken Hickson, James O'Sullivan.
Hi, Alice Cassidy, Vice President of Miracle Mile Residential Association, here to support that this move forward. And just to point out that there's a video on the 24th in our neighborhood, a small single residence house has come down, and the developer is now talking about putting a pool and a cabana in back and a 6-foot wall from the backyard all the way past the driveway. So I just want to be really impressed by how quickly we need action on this. Thank you.
Hickson or Hickson? Hickson.
I'm Ken Hickson, Vice President of Miracle Mile Residential Association. We support wholeheartedly all these ICOs. It's time to move them along. It's time to get the Department of Planning to assign more employees to moving RFA and HPOC applications through the process. Thank you.
James O'Sullivan, President of Miracle Mile Residential Association. We support everything that's already been, all the testimony that's gone on the record to support all of these and the 2 amendments that you have before you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Roger Curtis, Leo Tun Talks. Tamara Bergman.
My name is Roger Curtis. We've lived at Harper and Rosewood for 31 years. We firmly support the implementation of the ICOs and urge the committee to move forward immediately. I did a survey this morning in the 8 blocks between Orlando and Crescent Heights, Beverly Boulevard, and Melrose. There are 29 projects under demolition and construction, 47 large outsized houses built, a total of 76 houses in just our immediate neighborhood. Please pass this ICO immediately. Thank you.
Before we hear just build, and now we hear from 6 o'clock in the morning, jackhammer, excavator, big cars. It's something unbelievable. Please help us to see how beautiful neighborhood. Thank you.
Tamara Bergman, I'm the treasurer of Sunset Square neighborhood, which is one of the HPOC areas, which we hope that you pass both of these ICOs. We're in support of both of them. And at the beginning of the meeting, I think it was Councilmember Bizarre who mentioned the new resource at the Getty with the new website. And our neighborhood was surveyed by the Getty, but there's not going to be any cultural resource that to look at on that website if you don't protect us with these ICOs.
Anna Brantz, Diane Eisel, Robert Eisel.
Good afternoon. I'm totally in support of the ICO as well. I live in the 500 block of North Harbor Avenue. Please restore the peace to our neighborhoods. I used to wake up to birds, now I wake up to trucks and jolts awake at 6:30 in the morning, and our neighborhood is being destroyed little by little. Please pass these ICOs today. Thank you and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You need to look at me. You need to look at me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. See you next meeting.
Well, welcome back. I have great respect for all of you who have to make these tough decisions, but sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees. Let's use common sense here, please. I'm here to say that I'm in support of all these amendments and restrictions. An entire population has been awakened here like a sleeping giant, and we're just simply not going to be able to shove it back into the bottle. Please be brave, stand up for what you know is right. You can see how hard people in city planning have worked on this. They are city planners of the city of LA, this great city. Please vote in favor of these items and changes for number 8.
Hi, I'm Bob Eisen, Vice Vice President of the LeBray and Hancock Homeowners Association, and we fully support the ICOs, the BMO amendments, the RFAs, and the HPOCs. One point that's never been made in here, I've been to almost all these meetings since these issues have come up, is that toxic demolitions in our neighborhood. 2 notices of violations have been served to developers for asbestos and lead poisoning and pollution. Their property right is to destroy ours and to maximize their profits. Please support these zoning ordinances. Thank you. Louis Leal, Tammy Carty, William Cousin.
Louis Leal from Venice, California. Opposed to this, just for the reason that my specific area of Venice was kind of thrown into this mix with all these other areas of LA during the holiday season. I feel that these things should be separated out individually. Another thing is about notification. I'm a resident, stakeholder, and homeowner in my neighborhood, which I find sacred and sanctioned for myself personally and my wife. I was never notified about these meetings. I found out through a friend that these were actually happening. I feel that it was now in the 11th hour, and it seems like the train's left the station. But without notification, I feel like due process is not actually being heard. I disagree with this gentleman here, the city attorney, that states that only the amendments to these things can actually be discussed today. You need to roll this back and get everyone involved to actually get a pure vote on what is actually happening and get the stakeholders to report on it. We've just gone through the biggest recession that we've actually experienced. A lot of the building and demolition that everyone's talking about was ceased for 4 years. Extrapolation of the data going back to the last time that data census shows that this building was actually done prior to the recession. These things need to be analyzed and then discussed in public forum, and I missed out on that because you didn't notify me.
Thank you. Tammy Carty and William Cousin.
I support the changes to the ICO. We're just staying here for Venice. My name is Tammy Carty. I'm from Venice, California. As Louis said, the ICO is not told to people in Venice, and I'm all for good growth and for it, but people should have been notified that this was happening and work together as a community instead of just giving how this is going. Thank you.
Thank you. William Cousin, Mark Dardush, Alexis Rappaport.
I'd really like to have one more minute, but I'm going to try and do it. I hereby request the removal of the Old Granada Hills area from the proposed ICO because there is no evidence that there's a proliferation of large box-like structures, past, present, or an indication that it's going to happen in the future. The evidence is quite the contrary. All our flippers have been one-story, very modest additions with the highest floor area ratio of the flipper in Old Granada Hills at 25.5%. We don't have this. The city planning has not properly vetted Granada Hills. All these statements about us have been grouped in with the affluent communities. We are not affluent community. I understand the problem for these people. I agree with them. But for Old Granada Hills, there's no proof that a problem of mansionization exists. And you have the comps right there in your hand. I've lived in the neighborhood for 30 years, so I know what's going on. And as appropriate, like the last gentleman said, owners are not going to know to disclose this ICO to the buyers if you haven't noticed them and heard their feelings.
Thank you. Tammy Carty. What is your name? Oh, yes.
Good afternoon. I came on the 24th and learned about the historic HPOC component of this, and I fully support that. I think you should separate out the second component. I'm a design professional. I do green renovations of existing properties. I'm completely sympathetic with wanting to get rid of bulky, big mansion-esque development, and but this ordinance, the way it's put, it has some components that are still not right. In my view, I'm super happy and appreciative that you removed the garage.
You did more than you asked for.
You gave back the exemption for the garage component of the discounts, but I do believe also the covered patio should be kept. There are many people that have been voicing the same sentiments in our community on a petition that's on change.org. Many design professionals, in fact,
that are saying, and I agree with this, that that piece of it is important to keep variety, architectural variety, and we're not talking about a lot of square footage. The other thing I want to just make note of is, please let me finish, is that I don't understand why the 20%.
Time is up. If I commit you, commit everyone else.
Just one last thing, 20% bonus is not being taken away in Palisades and Brentwood. Affluent communities, property values in these less affluent communities and lower district 5 or these studies are not.
You have to end your time now because
Thank you. I think you understand my point.
Catherine Gopal Listing, Diane Gross, and Richard Rossetti.
Good afternoon. Thank you for hearing. I would like to speak to you about this ICO and first speak about separating the two items. Because you've heard some changes that have been entered in today, I think that we really do need to separate these two. And I speak before you about item number 2. I'm very pleased that we've made some changes on it today, but I also feel that there was inadequate notice given to homeowners. As a residential homeowner in the lower district council 5, I was only notified in the last hearing on the 24th. And I feel that in that time, we've come before you, we've reached out, and we've got market support for changes to be made. And for that reason, I think you need to separate these two items, and you need to at least move separate item number 2 forward so that we can have proper hearing and inform the homeowners so they're fully informed before decisions are made on this item. Thank you.
Diane Gross and Richard Rossetti.
So my objection to this ICO is very limited. I'm only objecting to Lower Council District 5, Cantley, Harvest, and East Venice. Just 6 zip codes that are included in this ICO. And I started a grassroots petition, I have it here. I have nearly 700 signatures. It was just me sending out to neighbors, sending out to other neighbors, people who are objecting. The reason why they're objecting, they find this ICO undemocratic. And the reason why is for 2 reasons. There hasn't been notice. As someone said before, in the 11th hour, our area was put into this ICO. If you look at Paul Krex's website, Councilman Paul Krex's website, there's no note, there's no mention of our neighborhoods. There are 13 neighborhoods mentioned, not our neighborhoods in there. I went to the West Side Neighborhood Council meeting. It was agendized on February 12th. On that same day when it was on the agenda, they voted to quick support and put our ICO in there. People didn't have notice. They don't know what's happening. The system's broken. So that's my first objection. My other objection is what this other speaker was trying to say. Is the richer are getting richer and the middle class are getting poorer. The issue here is that there's affluent areas, Brentwood and Palisades. They don't have restrictions, but in middle class areas like Rancho Park, Chevy and Hills, they are being restricted, and this is affecting our property values. Thank you.
Richard Rossetti, Chris Brago, Brad Darian, and Robert Silverman. We don't yield time, that's against the rules. Okay.
Tell that to Bill Rosen, who did it several times.
Please speak into the microphone.
The second part of this is draconian. I'd like to build a little larger house, not a big mansion, but I'd like to build a little larger house on my property. And this would definitely restrict my ability to build a home for my children and their children. I'm looking at a house that perhaps is 2,500 square feet. And in accordance with some of these, I'm on a 5,000 square foot lot, and I would very much to be able to live on that lot and use it, enough of it to build a home that would support my children and their children.
Thank you. And to the audience, I ask that you keep your comments to yourself. If you have something to say about a public speaker, we are asking for them to keep with the same respect to you when you speak, and that just keeps things going a lot more smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you, John Council. Chris Brago, new resident in Mar Vista, young family moved into a residential neighborhood, bought a 4-bedroom new home for a growing family. 3 months later, I find out about this last night. I'm all for controlling mansions, 5,000, 6,000 square foot. But that's not what this is about. This is way too extreme in the second part, in that my 6,000 square foot lot, you do the math on it, you can't build a family home there. What this is really going to do is it's going to take my value of my current house and then I've got my life savings, my wife's life savings in, because it's going to stop growth in our neighborhood. A lot of our housing around us are 900 worth of bungalows. These are being built in family homes. You know, lots, 2,500, 3,000. You can't do that with this bill. When that stops, money's going to stop coming, families are going to stop coming, our schools are going to suffer. I moved into a neighborhood because I thought this was going to be a growth, family-oriented neighborhood, and now it's going to stall out because of this. It needs to be adjusted. I don't want it to go away. I just think the second part needs to be adjusted. So, yeah. Thank you for your time.
Robert Silverman, Susan Levinson.
Fred Larian. I was part of the advisory group which was set up by the City Planning Commission about 7 years ago, which brought the current MPS. I think there was nothing really wrong with it. It was a negotiated solution after a lot of hearings and discussions. And now here we are again without notice. I for one, but it was not informed of it. The other thing is by not giving an incentive for proportional buildings. The new ICOs will encourage the very box of buildings that is trying to do that. We need more investment in our city. We need our tax bases to go up. And we need to make it easier for people to do business in LA, not to make it hard. Thank you.
Thank you. Fred Larian. Robert Silverman, Susan Levinson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, fellow council members. My name is Robert Silverman. I'm a resident of District 5, 2200 block of Veteran Avenue. I come before you in total disapproval of this ICO as it stands, and it's amended. How nice of them to give us back the garages. No one's living in a garage. How nice of them to give us back that area. And as my neighbor was up here said earlier, these covered patios and breezeways create uniqueness in homes. And if you take that away as well, it's going to create more of the boxes that they were trying to get rid of. So I, for my family, hope that this goes away so the value of my home does not plummet as I anticipated happening. And the fellow homeowners in my neighborhood that are trying to sell their home now are all in limbo because no one knows what kind of home they'll be able to build on that property based on this ICO as it stands, which is a complete disaster. I implore upon the board to please disallow the ICO as it stands, and I am in favor of the HPOC. That should be separated out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Susan Levinson, Ezra Gale.
Hi. I oppose this vociferously. There's about 100 people here, and this thing affects over 10,000. That's because nobody knows about it. It took me about 45 minutes to figure out where this meeting was even taking place because it was basically hidden on the web. I live in Cheviot Hills. We got lumped into this citywide thing. There's no every neighborhood is different. The Palisades, Beverlywood. It needs to be systematized. You need to take your time. The fact that you won't let every single person speak so that you could vote today makes me feel like the ship has already sailed and you've already made up your mind. And it's sad because I got both of my kids at the public school, and now I'm sure our schools are going to be affected. Why don't you take your time? Let's do it right. Let's figure out a way not to have these big blocks of buildings. And let's do this in a way that allows everyone to participate. That's what this country's built on. Thanks.
We recognize the critical importance of supporting area identity as well as the need for community continuity and neighborhood scale and character. In addition to these values, we also strongly believe in the transparent public process as a critical key to the legitimacy of land use regulations throughout the city. Simply put, a key component of good neighborhood planning is public input. Now, unlike a formalized process such as updating a community plan or a design guide, this ICO advances the agenda of a very small minority without providing an adequate commentary process for the vast majority of residents affected by the proposed ordinance. Now, in order to ensure that 226 homes are not redeveloped, the city is looking to take action against the property rights of over 38,000 For these reasons, we strongly oppose this and look forward to community plan updates as a mechanism for protecting my neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Izzo, you spoke on this already, correct? Yes. Lydia Ponce spoke on a different